So we'll go back to the global warming.
Yeah.
No doubt there's lots of talk about what's going on, and we see there's a big push about food waste, and we mentioned it a little bit before. This is something that I got a stat for you here, is that each person, so we talk about the Australia sends approximately 5.3 million tonnes of food waste to landfill each year. So that's 5.3 million tonnes. So that's 202 kilos of food waste per person for every single person in Australia.
Per year?
Per year.
Wow.
And I knew you wouldn't have known that figure because...
Well, it sounds about right.
My fresh guy does, thank God. So for us...
So where?
So from that, so 2.2 million tonnes of that comes from the commercial and industrial sector, which is that's us. So... That there, we put in 2.2, so commercial real estate. So the other 3.1...
It's households.
Yes. And it's a frightening number. It's a big number, and that's for every person in Australia. So if you looked at... If we could save that, and I'll use the example of a cherry grower. We went out to good old Terry at Torrens... Was it Torrens? Torrens Valley Cherries, and he's a lovely guy, and... He was showing us his farm. Doesn't like talking in front of a camera, but he showed us he has a machine that takes 10,000 photos a second of all the cherries floating through like this, and it chooses what grade each cherry is by.
Awesome.
And you just think, cherry farm, and you're like, and you see it, and it splits it up to, okay, they can go to Coles, they go to Woolworths. Oh yeah, the good stuff that goes to Drake. So.
I'm sure that's how they're separated.
So this machine takes 10,000 photos a second, and he had some going to a run, and we were there. And I said, "Where are they going?" And he said, "They're not good enough to sell, but they look
amazing.
They look perfectly fine, right?" And this thing's taking a 3D photo. It tells you where the marks are on it. It's amazing. And I said, "Well, what do you do with that?" And he goes, "I dump it. Like, I can't sell it." And we're like, so we have a Fight for Food brand, and we packaged those cherries. So we ended up putting that brand together, packaged the cherries, went out to stores, they all sold. So he was telling me, and this is the part that scared me, 40% of cherries off a tree only make it to
I bet.
40% don't make it to the shelf.
So I will buy fruit with a corner that is... I will buy.
Yeah. So we did.
A lot of people will buy.
And so did everyone else. But we did put it in a plastic bag.
That's just did your plastic bag, so one thing at a time, you fix one side, they're like, but the blanket is short, you will have one side and the feet comes out. I think
it's like that. Like
I think it's awesome.
So just by being there and going, where's that go? He goes, that goes to waste. It was like, just, hey, and I spoke to our fresh guy. I said, mate, what are we doing? So we ended up getting those.
And people buy it, eh?
Yes.
Of course, I would buy them.
And they were like half the price of the cherries. I think they were $4.99.
And super yummy.
Super yummy. They're off the same tree, but they haven't made it for the quality because, unfortunately, as a supermarket, we have trained people to be very
picky.
Yeah, we want them to only pick the best possible fruit and veg possible, and it's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing because it makes people not buy.
No, I agree. I think it's more awareness. If I look about you guys and your next campaign that you're doing now, that I'm noticing, like about being South Australia, being like, you are the voice that can say, hey, look, these are South Australian stuff. They got a corner on a little cherry, but it's awesome. People will buy.
Yeah. Well, that will happen with the Lenswood apples. They had a hailstorm, and they said, shit, what can we do? And we said, well, okay, they came up with a Freckles campaign. Hey, look, we've got a few marks on us, but
cool.
We're okay to eat. And that's all I buy now. It's in a plastic bag, though. But
we'll remove the plastic bag after.
But that's all I buy. But
what about all the food that is wasted in the household?
Yeah, and I think that's becoming less and less. Like my girl, they teach it at school because my girls have been a far more, oh, Dad, you eat that. Dad, like, they don't let anything go in the bin, and that's probably why I'm putting on weight.
No, like, you mean the kilos? No, don't blame the kids.
No,
It's because you're doing sport.
But they know what goes in the recycling bin. They know that, like, we came back we came back and Nat's dad, my wife's dad, he was throwing bottles in the bin and he was pulling them out. I didn't know he was pulling them out. I go, what the fuck are you doing, Ed? And he goes, no, I got the bottles yet 10 cents. And I was like, because I moved from Queensland. I went, oh, cool, all right. So I said, all right, so I'll make a thing of this. So we started collecting it. So we've been back here for 5 years and we've got about $2,200 of bottles.
Of course.
That goes straight into the girls' account. So now the girls go around.
Richer than you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But, those little things, this year I started to separate hard plastic to soft plastic. There's so much soft plastic in the things we buy.
That's correct.
And at the end of the day, it all gets into a, squash in a teeny tiny pack. So I think they're getting good in households.
Yeah, we are getting a lot better. So I'm putting it out there. If anyone listens to this, I'm happy to do something with one of our growers that we use. And we'll use your technology to test this, which you're already doing, but I'd like to see it happen in South Australia so we can talk about the story.
Yeah,
so I'm
absolutely.
just flagging that. So let's talk about, there's some questions here that's easy for you. Why Adelaide? I mean, it was pretty easy. You were following your heart.
Following my heart.
And he's a freaking champion too. Got some beautiful young girls as well. No, it's not girls, so kids. So
girls, yeah. They're 4 and 7, like teenagers.
4 and 7, yeah. Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there's a fair bit there. What drives you? So what's one thing in your, that you're not your passion, but what drives you to want to explore more, to do more, and to actually, be successful in this industry, which is the space industry?
I've got a personal passion for it. I always think that I'm in this world to do something amazing for space, but I have to admit, this year, all these things about Earth really, really just create a purpose on everything. Like I'm building something to save the world and helping everyone. It's a great purpose. It's a reason when you wake up in the morning and you have to pack the kids and go to work and run a startup thinking, why you have to do that? And you're like, you got 10 years to 2030, and 2030, everyone will die. So you better launch satellites, and save the world. I found a purpose in what I'm doing, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing to see too. So I'm really excited about that. So see the journey, and it feels like you just started. So
yeah, I just started, but we have to go fast. So every day feels like, oh my God, like we have to go faster, and I'm like, it's just Monday.
So do you go faster? Do you talk about rocket propulsion, or do you talk about electric propulsion?
Electric rocket propulsion.
When the Tesla is so fast, it's actually incredible.
It's incredible.
And I'm only assuming a rocket's a bit more. I haven't ridden a rocket.
Not yet.
Or driven a rocket.
Yeah.
So give me something to work on.